I have to say that these are some of the best questions and comments I have ever seen. And that's after, what is it now? 14, 13, 14, 15 months. Anyway, of having this show. And I think we're getting very close to 1,000 videos. Anyway, let's start at the top of the list of all the comments today. Has to go to FGA Breel Thomas. Breel T-O FGABRIELTOMAS, if you want to look him up. Anyway, he says, I agree with everything you said. All right. So that I'm done. Should we go on to the next? Oh, wait a minute. But then we have S.W. Parsons. This is I enjoy Larry's sober pushback on irrational exuberance. Now, what in the world does he even mean? What irrational exuberance. Oh, come on. All right. So then we go to this one. This is from Longtack 55. Thanks, Randy. I always take your predictions with a grain of salt due to your optimistic nature. I think you and Cautious Larry projected a January 2024 $500 stock price. I don't want to speak for Larry. Mine was all-time high at the end of January. So 410. Still have a $700 for this year that I have not backed away from. Could still happen. But I just put out a new one today, which is projecting a 500 and change by the middle of 2025. Now that one's a very conservative projection based on extremely conservative numbers. It wouldn't take much to get it back up to my 700 by the end of the year. Especially depending on what the market conditions are. So if the market is exuberant, that would boost it up even more. Okay. Then we go from there, we go to Tyler Leedom, Leedom. Actually, your estimate, he's quote unquote, I mean, he's saying actually pretty conservative, our estimate. He says that was from this morning. I would presume that if Optimus is shipping, then the PE will be well over 100 because the TAM of the bot is ridiculous. The growth will be in its infancy, and Tesla will likely be in a pole position. Agree on all of that. So he says, I like your numbers, but if you double the PE, the stock will be closer to 1,000 a share, or just short of the 3 trillion market cap sometime in 2026. And he's not even taking into consideration if we had FSD and robotaxis, which could, again, if those are even on the table and we're starting to roll out, then again, that's going to affect that multiple as well. And not only the multiple, it'll affect the underlying profits in that year. So all of that is true. Anyway, one of my most prolific posters, he's there all the time, is Jack Coates 4146. He says, Larry is right. Oh, man. Oh, in my experience, big teams are for production. Small teams are for development, and focused small teams, we called them SWAT teams in my career, did the biggest projects, focused and in the shortest time. Not the most dollar efficient, but by far the most time efficient to get to a producible product. This is even what we did on multi-million-dollar projects that we had where it was for the very first time. Listen, I love small groups. I love the smallest group that I really like is just me. And I think Elon sometimes feels that way too. But, if you get 3 or 4 people in a room, then you're going to do well. One of I felt secrets of my success in my business was I involved people from up and down the line. So it was, I had people in meetings on design, on engineering, on even in terms of production analysis that were from me all the way down to the lowest level workers, because you'd be amazed. I was always amazed by where some of the best ideas came, especially in brainstorming sessions. All right, next we have Bing, B-I-N-G, Guo, Bing Guo. Bingo 4297. There might be a story there. I'm not sure. Anyway, he says the lawyer's package is based on Elon earning 0 for increasing the value of Tesla by 10-fold. So can the judge say to Elon, to the world, that Elon is worthless for his work in that period? I mean, maybe he would have been paid $100 billion a year for that 10 years. So that would have been 100 million a year times 10 would be $1 billion out of the instead of the 55 billion. So at least we be 51 billion less. Or as this person points out, Bing Wo 4297, maybe the right number would have been somewhere in between. So yeah, so you have to subtract the actual value from the ultimate value. So they didn't do that. That would be one more stupid move on their part. Anyway, then we have Chigon, Qinggong Sifu, maybe Chicago Gong. Anyway, I don't know. He says a more reasonable amount would be after the Tesla board has revised the compensation package for Musk and the stockholders have accepted the package, then the amount should be some percentage of the difference between the canceled package and the revised and approved package. If the revised package happened to be even richer than the original package, then Tesla would end up losing money on the deal and the lawyer should pay Tesla to cover the cost. If the revised package is the same as the original package, then the lawyers must pay Tesla some money to cover the legal fee that Tesla has to pay. If and only if the revised package is less than the original package, then the lawyers do deserve to receive a fraction of that savings that Tesla's shareholders end up benefiting. Is that fair? Seems really fair to me. I hope that the judge is listening to this one. All right, then we have R.W. Hirsch saying that every grocery store, every Costco, every Walmart, every mall should have a long row of chargers in the parking lot. Any place where people spend 20 minutes or more should have a discounted, accessible charging facility where maybe the mall or the Costco is contributing, or vice versa. I think what's happening now is a lot of these are at Targets in my area. Maybe Target is actually benefiting. I'm not. They're either getting paid a rental fee or maybe they're getting paid a piece of the action. I'm not sure. Okay, this is from Lee Alson, dash. So Lee Alson, double L, ALLSON, dash, DK2UD. Decade. I guess that's what it is. Okay, so once again, Larry is right. How come Larry's always right? Sometimes you say Randy is right. Let's all say that together. Okay. There is going to be very little impact on Tesla users at superchargers for one main reason. There's about 20 times more Teslas on the road than all of the rest of the EVs in the United States combined. That's absolutely right. I agree. And I agree that Larry was right. Now, in some circumstances, though, there are some of the charging stations like the Santa Monica station, which is jammed all the time. My understanding is that Tesla is making decisions about which of these chargers to open up to Ford and others. In the early days, they're not going to be able to go to all of them. So the ones that are always jam, they will not be able to go to those locations. That's my understanding. Now, I don't have that 100%, but I believe that's true. All right. From Reagan Viking, he actually gets two. I don't know how that happened, but he's on here twice today. He says, what would happen if Tesla spun off some businesses? Would Tesla get the cash from the sale of those businesses? Would the spinoffs provide ongoing revenue to Tesla? For instance, to license the Tesla brand, how would Tesla maintain control of those businesses? 50% ownership? Would Tesla shareholders automatically get shares in the spinoff? All of the above are possible. You can set up your spinoff all kinds of different ways. So you could spin off 49% or 40 or 35%. Yes, you could have licensing agreements with the company that you spun off. The benefit to the shareholders is that whatever they spin off, let's say you spin off 40%, well, whatever that is, that money then comes into Tesla. Tesla gets that benefit, and you now get an opportunity to buy the spun off company and generate and gain from that. Or what commonly happens is you get a share value as opposed to cash. You don't normally get a cash dividend from the sale. You get a share dividend. So now you automatically own a percentage of the new company equivalent to the percentage that you owned of the old of Tesla as a whole. Anyway, lots of possibilities. It can work all kinds of different ways. Okay. Then also, Reagan Viking, like I said, gets two today. If Elon sees an electricity shortage looming, and there's definitely one looming, and if solar power with megapacks is the energy solution of the future, why doesn't Tesla just build massive solar farms and megapack installations for all of its data center slash compute electricity needs, not only for their own, but for others. If it really works, why isn't Tesla building it for themselves? Well, they have started to do a little bit of this. In Texas, they got a little tests thing going down there. They've got something working over in England. I agree. I think I agree, but I haven't done the analysis, and these things take years, and it's a whole different kind of setup that Tesla is normally involved in. Plus, very, very cash, a lot of cash up front. But yeah, I think I'm kind of just shocked that there isn't lots of people lined up to do this. But again, I've never really looked into it deeply. All right. This is from Bobby Bishop, 5662. He says, Optimus is not even close to being in the lead. Get real. All right, Bobby, let's see. Can I spend enough time? I'm going to do this as quickly as I possibly can. Number one, it's obvious to anybody that's watching that the Optimus is by far the smoothest, the most human-like in terms of the way that it walks. It is doing toe off. I'm not sure that any of the others have toe off. The hands seem to be more human-like in the way that they're managing things. It's possible that a couple of the other ones have hands that are kind of in the same ballpark. If you listen to Scott, a lot of the other ones have shoulder issues that Optimus does not have, and the shoulders matter a lot. You notice some of them, while they're working, their arms are way up in the air like this, and they're working in these odd ways. Number two, Tesla has the Dojo system. None of these people have anything like Dojo to help them with the FSD development. And Dojo apparently is getting close to being sufficient to handle or Dojo combined with all of their other computer resources is apparently going to have enough resources to cover everything they need shortly. Nobody has these kind of resources. None of the other bot companies have these kind of opportunities. Then you have the manufacturing capacity, the capabilities of Tesla. There's just nobody on the planet that manufactures as well as Tesla in terms of their return on invested cash, in terms of just the return on investment period, in terms of their skill sets. Everything about their ability to manufacture is on a whole nother level. The vertical integration, again, you've got Brett Adcock talking about starting to build some motors, but I mean, come on, is he going to be able to compete with Elon Musk building motors? Yeah, right. That's a good one. So, I mean, just keep going. The engineers, the best engineers in the world want to work for Tesla. So he's got the engineers. He's got SpaceX. He's got Neuralink. He's got X.com and X.ai, all of which have products and things that they're doing that apply to the robot. And so who else has anything remotely like that, all in under one roof? And then there's always Elon at the top. Anyway, sorry, Bobby, I'm not sure where you were coming from on that one. Okay, the next one here is from 13th Biosphere. There's probably a story there. The most important part of a functioning bot is its fingers, and Boston Dynamics, 10 years, no fingers. Well, what a day to have that one. That was yesterday, so by now, 13th Biosphere probably knows this, but the folks at Boston Dynamics unveiled a hand today and fingers, 5 fingers. Looks like, I didn't look at it in great detail, but had sensors on it. It was manipulating its thumb up and down each finger like this. So Boston Dynamics is in the game with hands now. All right, from Bill Bell, 3737. Excellent analysis. Well, thank you. Oh, as gasoline use goes down, the refinery's utilization goes down, resulting in higher gas prices, except they won't be able to pass them along. As wind and solar usage goes up and battery costs go down, electricity costs go down. It'd be interesting to add that to the model. I expect it will accelerate the transition to EVs and the demise of gas stations. Yeah, there's a bunch of, it's almost, there's no way that we can possibly speculate as to how it's going to work. Well, we can speculate, but knowing how it's all going to balance out over time is really, really hard. The key thing is that we're only about 2 years, 3 years away from where buying an ICE car will seem stupid. I mean, you'll look at your brother or your cousin and go, you're buying an ICE car. Why? I mean, it costs more to run it. It pollutes. You got to go to the gas station. I mean, it'll just seem dumb. Okay. Into the Fray. .58 says, on a related note, how long can legacy ice manufacturers continue to run their assembly lines profitably when demand drops? Will they selectively eliminate models, or will they just shut down lines or factories, or will they run at a loss until they can't? And when does this start happening? My prediction is this is already happening. That's my prediction. I think we can see it's already happening, and it's just going to get worse over the next 3 to 4 years. You just heard what I said in the last one, but you basically you're exactly right. A lot of people have talked about this problem for legacy, and it's going to be impossible. It's just going to be a case of where they're going to have all this outdated CapEx that they haven't even depreciated fully, or if they have, it's just going to be worthless. Huge problem going forward for these folks. From Tom Ulcak, Ulcak. All right, at some point in the video, you need to dig deeper. Why is the mainstream media so bad? Why is crime and poverty so widespread? Why is innovation so rare? These things are all the result of capitalism, the root cause. Well, can anybody help me with this one? Actually, nobody responded to this. It's like, is it just so obvious that everybody thought, just leave this guy alone? Okay, number one, why is the mainstream media so bad? They've been eliminated. They've been destroyed, by online capabilities, and now by citizen journalists. Anyway, the next one, why is crime and poverty so widespread? Well, actually, poverty is less widespread than at any time in human history by a lot, by massive amounts. The poverty is the United States. There's almost nobody goes to bed hungry unless they have some kind of mental disease. In the world, it's down to just a tiny number of people that go to bed hungry, much less die of starvation. Now, there are still problems with not getting the right kinds of foods or the right kind of water, but those are being addressed really, really rapidly. I'm surprised you don't know this. Why is innovation and then why is crime so widespread? Well, actually, the truth is the crime statistics are down a lot too from about 30 years ago, 25 years ago. But part of the reason for that is the aging of the population. Older folks just don't do as much crime as young people do. Anyway, and then why is innovation so rare? Are you kidding me? We're in an age where the speed of innovation is so rapid that people can't keep up. I mean, you can't even keep up with what's taking place. So innovation right now, macro people are more worried about what innovation is going to do in terms of people not being able to have jobs. I'm not worried about that. I've explained it over and over and over again why it's not an issue. There will be plenty of jobs. It'll just be different jobs. Okay, let's go on. This is from HAK CDs 911, Hacked CDs 911, maybe? I don't know. We had a meeting with Figure last week as they were soliciting for their fundraise. We determined that buying more Tesla was a better robotics play, as we could not see any path where the folks at Figure had an advantage to Tesla. And in fact, it was overwhelmingly obvious that the exact opposite was true on every single metric. Now, I do know that these meetings, I don't know anything about this person. I can't say that he was actually in these meetings, but I'm just going to trust him. I'm going to take him at his word that he was in these meetings because I know they took place. And he says it straight up. Tesla is ahead on every metric. It's not even close. All right, then we've got Kitchijitsu. Anyway, if this Cook, he's talking about Tim Cook, CEO at Apple, such a great CEO of our times, how come then he ignored Elon's offer some time ago to sell Tesla to Apple for 10% of its current value? I may be wrong, but aren't leaders supposed to look into the future without emotional entanglements? Oh, no. You please understand. Actually, read my book on the Elon Musk method. I talk in there about 5 different kinds of CEOs, of presidents, of entrepreneurs, people that run businesses. Elon Musk and Tim Cook couldn't be any different, but that doesn't mean that they're not both amazing. Okay, Tim Cook is a manager. He is not an entrepreneur in the sense I think of an entrepreneur. He is not somebody who's future oriented. He's not somebody who has his hand on, or he doesn't, he's not a consumer oriented manager. He's not thinking about how to solve problems. What he's thinking about is, how can I get this product in front of the consumer at exactly the time that they want it? Make sure the supply chains are all working, make sure we're getting the lowest cost on everything. How can we make it smaller, better? That's what he does. And that's what I typically think of that as the second generation owner. Sometimes that might be the son or daughter of the original owner, who was the entrepreneur, the one who was thinking up all the new ideas, who was radical, who was more risk oriented, like an Elon Musk. No, Tim Cook is, make sure you get it right, boy. A completely different kind of person. And he's really, really good at it. Well, listen, if any of this was useful to you and fun, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit notify. Remember, later tonight, as always on Sunday night, one of the most popular programs every single week is when we look at what's coming up in the week ahead. And spoiler alert, it's Jobs Week. And Kathy Wood will be talking, be doing her thing next Friday. And then Larry and I'll do that next Saturday morning. We'll look at what Kathy Wood said. Oh yeah, it's going to be an amazingly cool week. But tomorrow night, you want to know a little bit more about what is coming up next week, as well as we cover, of course, the news between now and then in terms of Tesla, the economy, the stock market, etc. All right, that's all I got, except that I'd love to have you join Patreon. I'd love to have you buy some Cybertruck bottle openers and help support the channel. Thanks a lot. It's been great talking to you.